meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead.
Yeah, we're about ready to enter our living laboratories where scientists from Epcot, Nestle, NASA, and the Department of Agriculture are working to develop innovative and sustainable methods of food production. Our researchers are constantly looking to develop new growing techniques and new plants. So each time you come through, you're going to find exciting new plants growing alongside our most traditional ones, such as the banana on your right. 28 million tons of bananas, not pounds, 28 million tons are consumed each year around the world. It's an excellent source of fiber and potassium, making a welcome addition to your diet. Unusual looking fruit on your left, the jackfruit. It's native to India, where it can reach 80 pounds in weight. It's loaded with vitamins A and C. On your right, a very unusual pumpkin, the fluted pumpkin. It's grown extensively in Africa, where it does well even on the poorest soils. Unlike other pumpkins, it's grown for its edible leaves. The fruit on your right is a member of the cactus family known as the dragon fruit. It's native to Central America and Mexico, but it's grown extensively now in Asia, where it's grown as an export crop. The juice from the dragon fruit is used to flavor many of the fruit drinks that we enjoy. On your right, we see a number of herbs. Imagine how bland our food would taste without flavors of herbs and spices. But those same flavors we enjoy are a natural defense mechanism for the plant, because animals that might eat them find those same tastes that we love very distasteful. The papaya on your left, loaded with vitamins, and the flesh of that fruit is an excellent meat tenderizer, actually. Now, we mentioned farming. You don't think of fish farming usually, but fish farming or aquaculture is one way to increase yields of fish products while protecting the native fish stocks. For instance, on your right, the hybrid bass is a cross between the white and striped bass. Fish farmers like to grow this bass because it is fast-growing and very hardy. On your left, one of the oldest species of fish on Earth, the sturgeon, harvested mainly for caviar. With increasing demand of caviar, been tremendous pressure on fish stocks. Aquaculture is one way to manage that resource. The remainder critters on the right, American alligator, no longer an endangered species. Over 1 million alligators in Florida alone. Aquaculture is one of the reasons for their recovery. Some of the alligators are raised for the meat and hide, and others are useful in wetlands conservation. Our aqua cells raise 6,500 pounds of fish product in a given year. Much of that finds its way to the tables of restaurants throughout Walt Disney World. So if you order a fish dinner, it may have originated here in our aqua cells. I don't think the fish will be saying where it came from, though. Now we're in our greenhouse where some of our biggest ideas are growing. The pumpkin on the right will be reaching 200 pounds in weight. With that weight, the researchers have to develop a cradling system to support the pumpkin in the air. Far right corner, the winter melon. They're grown throughout Asia, where virtually all parts of the plant are eaten. And with our advanced growing techniques, we can get some of those winter melon to grow over 90 pounds in size. On the right here, the Atlantic giant pumpkin. These are actually some smaller ones. Those can grow to over 1,000 pounds in weight. And the bright orange color is beta-carotene, it's an antioxidant. On each side of the boat, a couple of the larger members of the citrus family. On the right, the mellow tastes like a grapefruit, a sweet grapefruit. But on the left, 9-pound lemon tastes like, well, it tastes like lemon is what it tastes like. This greenhouse, we're using innovative growing techniques such as the string method showing on each side, where we can grow the plants vertically. Allows us to put the water and nutrients directly on the roots of the soil. And the upward growing allows air to blow through the foliage, reducing potential for disease. You could do the same thing at home by using a trellis, say, to grow cucumbers. On each side of the boat, the lettuce is growing with the nutrient film technique. This technique allows us to put exactly the right amount of nutrients right to the roots of the plant, therefore reducing costs and helping protect the environment. For those of you looking for hidden Mickeys, find in the center the light green on your left and the brown on your right, Mickey shapes. Here's something you don't see every day, tomatoes growing on a tree. Well, it's really not a tree, it's actually a single plant that's been bred to grow in a fashion to maximize fruit production. Over 22,700 tomatoes have grown on that tree already, been harvested actually. That's a world record. More lettuce with the nutrient film technique in a spiral fashion rather than the grid fashion used earlier. Here's the Cinderella pumpkin. It's an inspiration for a most magical coach, but of course not all of them. If you look up above there, some of the shapes are going to look like, I guess, Mickeys and Minnies there, right? The researchers using different growing techniques. Now in this greenhouse, our creative greenhouse, we're using Cutting-edge research to develop even more innovative growing techniques. You may have noticed through the greenhouses we're using no soil. It's called hydroponics. It's a technique already used in the world where soils have been depleted. We're going a step beyond that with aeroponics. You notice on your left and on your right, we've got some flying squash up here on the right where they actually pass through the mist boxes and receive water and nutrients directly onto the roots as they pass through those mist boxes. It's a technique called aeroponics. Now in our lab, EPCOT researchers are working with the Department of Agriculture to develop a dwarf pear tree. This would be a tree that would have fruit of normal size. The tree itself would be smaller than normal, making it easier to grow and harvest. In our last experiment here, we're working with NASA to develop growing techniques to produce food for space colonies. I guess that's an idea that's really out of this world. Maybe someday we'll provide food for the ride mission to space. No, I don't. There's so much that can be learned from science and nature about living with the land. What you've seen in our brief tour through our greenhouse is only part of the story because, of course, once products are grown, they have to be carefully harvested and then transported from table or greenhouse, from the field or greenhouse to the table. Around the globe, Nestle and other organizations are working to improve the quality and the flavor of the food that our world so enjoys and relies upon. Working together, we can protect the land as a precious and beautiful resource that it is, but still provide for the needs of a growing world. When we do that, then and only then will we truly be living with the land. Sign up for the behind-the-scenes walking tour. It's a great experience for the whole family, and the tour desk is located just to the left of the entrance to Soaring. As we come up to unload, for your safety, please keep those hands and arms, feet and legs inside. Watch the children there along the edges. Please remain seated until we come to a complete stop at the platform ahead. When we do come to a complete stop, you want to look for your personal belongings, gather those up, and you will be exiting to the right and then back through these gates here. You'll again want to watch your head and watch your step as you exit.